What's going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new BeInCrypto video. In today's episode, we're going to be spending quite a bit of time looking at Tezos. We're going to be doing this looking at two different exchanges. It's going to be HitBTC as well as Bitfinex. Here at BeInCrypto, we've been doing quite a bit of research, extensive research on this coin, trying to figure out whether or not it has or is in the process of starting a new market cycle. Is this a worthy investment? Is it not? We'll have to find out as we continue on into today's video. If you guys are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and let's jump into today's episode. So guys, before we continue any further, I want to give a huge shout out to our continued sponsor here on the channel, STORMGAIN. Basically, don't let your crypto sit, make it earn 10% yearly interest for you. How do you do that? Just deposit any amount between $100,000 and $50,000 USD and watch it grow. Very, very, very easy. You can see as I scroll down, why STORMGAIN? Basically an account from as low as $100 USD is all you need to earn up to 10% interest on all currencies. So that's pretty awesome. It's the lowest exchange commission as well. And they do offer quite a bit of other cryptocurrencies in regards to earning interest. So not only can you just deposit USD, you can also deposit Bitcoin, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, XRP, Ethereum, and earn 10% on that, which is pretty awesome. And the period is 30 days, which is pretty awesome as well. And that's pretty much it. They tell you how the interest rate is calculated, how the interest is paid, as well as limits on investments. It's definitely worth a check. It is the first link in the description. Once again, huge shout out to STORMGAIN for sponsoring today's video. Otherwise, let's jump into the technical analysis. So where do we begin? So right now we're on the Tezos to Bitcoin chart. You can see this is the HitBTC right now, and there's a couple of things you have to pay quite a bit of attention to. Now we are looking at this on the daily, and we are trying to figure out whether or not we may be continuing a more long-term pattern. You'll notice right now we are completing what appears to be an Elliott wave formation. You can see we have just started to complete the first part of the Elliott wave. As we can continue down further, there's a very, very, very high chance we're going to actually see the retracement begin right now, and then inevitably hit a bottom and then continue to complete the third, fourth, and fifth waves right here. Now I do just want to jump on into another outlook of things, which is quite interesting. When I now zoom in and look even closer to Tezos to Bitcoin on HitBTC, as I zoom in, you'll notice a very interesting pattern is happening. Not only is this gain about a 270% jump on the HitBTC chart, you also have to consider that we are starting to see what appears to be some sort of bearish divergence approaching on this coin. As the price tends to break bullish, you can see that the bearish divergence on the RSI is showing that we're actually retracing lower. This within itself does indicate that there is a very, very, very high chance that we're going to pretty much see that retracement. What usually is an ABC retracement as we continue to head lower, this may be the cap right here. Now this TA was made yesterday, and if I click the refresh button, you can see that's pretty much what exactly is happening right now. We're starting to see that correction to the downside, which will most likely play out in that ABC formation, and this will ultimately pull itself back down to number 2 on the Elliott wave and then continue what appears to be a new bull market cycle into the future. So it's definitely something to consider. We may be in for a nice surprise. Now, for those of you interested, this could be a nice short position, but once we continue, if you want to hold on long term, you have to consider that there's probably going to be profit to be made as we continue long term to head upwards. Now, I do just want to show you the Bitfinex chart. This is a little bit different. This would be showing you a 5-wave Elliott wave continuing itself into the more long-term future. But for right now, zooming in on this little piece here, it is very similar to Tezos, though. You can see that's this part right here, very similar to Bitfinex on here. We do look to be completing in this smaller period right here a retracement. It looks like we've completed or about to complete the the 5-wave Elliott, which once again will indicate a retracement to the downside. If we can actually cap off here and start to see some sort of correction to the downside, there's a very significant and high chance that we retrace lower. Now, I am going to show you guys later on in today's episode what exactly that looks like, but I want to spend a good bit of time showing you why our possibilities are going to happen and play out like this. So one thing to take note of is on Tezos on the weekly, we look to have double bottomed right here. You can see 2 double bottom formations, boom, boom, and then we start to break bullish. Not only that, but we are starting to see on the RSI and the MACD a bullish divergence. Notice how all since here we've been seeing a correction, a retracement to the downside, but at the same time the price has been retracing lower. The RSI and the MACD has proven to be correcting upwards. They've actually been starting to move upwards, and that within itself is a huge possibility that we are going to be opening up into a new market cycle and heading up higher in price. This is awesome all in all. Now, as I dive in a little bit further, you can see what exactly we have to look at. Back here, back in 2018, we had an upwards trend on the RSI. So with this upwards trend on the RSI, you can see it rose the coin in price to extremely high levels. Then unfortunately at the tip, we broke bearish through here and the price retraced all the way lower. Now we're starting to see a more gradual uptrend happen within 2019, which is awesome. Leading into 2020, you can see though that the price is already starting to move upwards. And by the time we get back up to around the 50 on the RSI, right up to here, you'll notice that's going to obviously extend the price. And there's a chance we could ultimately see previous 2018 highs if it plays out like this, because as you can see, there's plenty of room to retrace lower and then head higher up. So with that in mind, you can see that's why we would be forming on the HIT BTC a long-term new market cycle of a 5-wave Elliott pattern within the gradual uptrend on the RSI. This would ultimately lead us up higher and higher. Now right here, like I said, we're probably bound to see some sort of correction and ABC retracement to the downside before heading up higher, and that can be shown right here, what I'm referring to. So you can see as we zoom in once again on the daily HIT BTC chart, you can see we do have what appears to be a 5-wave completion of the Elliott wave, and now we're probably going to see that ABC correction to the downside. You'll notice on the RSI as well as the MACD, there tends to be some sort of bearish divergence. With that being said, there's a very high chance that we're going to see this breakdown. And like I showed you on the live updating charts, we actually are starting to correct to the downside. Ultimately, if you are interested in shorting, it would be to expect an ABC retracement. The bearish divergence, the downtrend, everything is appearing to be going according to the plan. You can see the price moves upwards, at the same time the RSI and the MACD head downwards. Ultimately, this is signaling that this is the cap, and we're going to start to see a correction back downwards. And lastly, to show you the Bitfinex chart, just so there's no confusion, you can see right here, once again, it looks like we're heading back up. I believe we've actually capped off right now on this short-term Elliott wave, and there's a very high chance we're going to see a smaller ABC correction downwards, completing what appears to be a bigger Elliott wave, indicating a new market cycle to head up to the future. What I mean by that is this is just one leg of the major Elliott wave that's forming. You can see right here, when I pull it up, right here, that this is just one leg of what appears to be an even bigger Elliott wave. So within this itself, we have an a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 5th one right there. But that's within a first leg of what appears to be an even bigger new Elliott wave cycle that's forming. Otherwise, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up. Remember to check out the second link in the description. This will bring you to our BeInCrypto article here on the channel. Definitely check that out. That goes a lot more in depth in regards to the technical analysis. Otherwise, once again, huge shout out to STORMGAIN for sponsoring today's episode, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.